Okay, so while Safi is hunkering for some uh, chili cheese dogs,
Oh, I'd love to have one. Oh.
I'm gonna talk spoilers about Sleepaway Camp 1, 2, and 3. Alright,
Sorry.
okay. At the first one, there's a lot of disturbing imagery created with the pedophile
Mm.
and I mean, you didn't even watch what he was doing because we skipped through it because it's really gross uh,
Oh.
and and then you had the adult counselor who throws Angela in the water,
Yeah, that was bad.
and that was gross. I mean, that's like right out of Friday the 13th with how they threw Jason in the water and drowned him.
Oh.
But
Well, they didn't drown this girl at all. She just, that was really weird too. She got out of the water. Didn't her cousin come to help her out of the water? Or?
no, the old guy, the head of the camp, just refused to let him go help his cousin because he's starting trouble all the time and he knows that he's the killer. And
You know, that was odd. That was odd too. That was one thing. There were odd things in the first one, and somehow she got out of the water. I don't remember. And as she was coming out, these little kids that were there, now they didn't have that many, but there were a
okay,
group. They threw sand all over her. I thought that was odd.
okay. Here's what happened. The other girl counselor, not the bad one, came over,
Oh,
and
okay.
she told the cousin to go, and he got her out of the water, and then called Judy a bitch, and then they got sand thrown at them by the kids,
Which is weird. That would
those
never
kids would throw
happen.
sand at anybody.
Yeah, but that was weird. That would never happen. I just don't believe it because maybe she didn't know how to swim, so maybe she was drowning, and those little kids would start throwing sand at her.
It seemed like they're trying to create an environment where it's uncomfortable.
Well, that was
And
weird. I didn't get that at
did you
all.
like all the pranks that they pulled? Like they had that kid sit up and that guy pulled his pants down and and the
Yeah,
shaving cream.
they were they. That's right. They did pull a lot of pranks in the movie, and
Well, they were trying to create to
well, they're trying to have fun.
no, they were also the filmmakers. They were trying to show, hey, maybe this guy is the killer because he's getting pranked and he's getting hazed, I guess you would call it. And
I never thought he was the killer.
I mean, some people would.
I didn't know who was the killer. And when I found out who it was, I was really shocked. And
Angela.
that's why I gave the food rating that I did a chocolate chip cookie at the end of the KFC meal because I considered it a surprise ending. I mean, Marco actually gave away that it was a girl, and
Well, I was thinking about the second one and third one.
I picked that up right away, and he stopped himself, but he'd already given it away.
The second and third one, it is a girl.
But I mean, I did not think it was that girl. And so to me, it was and I'm really good at figuring out stuff. And kind of, I take after my mom. She used to do the same thing that would drive me crazy. I said, would you please not talk anymore? We'd watch something, because she would say, she'd just say all the stuff about she's already figured out the movie, and it would just drive me insane. So,
I'd like to see her watch Memento, because I don't think anyone would figure out that movie before it ends.
well, my mom passed away about 10 years ago, so it's too late for that. But I think for me, it's fun to watch a movie and have it come up at the end with something I never even expected. And it's a total surprise. It totally takes me aback. And that's why I gave it such a good review. and made it the best because, well, it was, like I said, it was a complete movie, and also because it had that surprise ending. And we still really haven't told you the surprise ending.
That Angela is the killer, and that really, in the beginning scene, they showed that the girl, or the boy got killed, kind of, or something. That they kind of teased it.
You can't tell who gets killed, but you know the father got
you
killed.
You find out that the girl got killed, and they sent the boy over named Peter, and the aunt basically forced the little boy to become Angela, and so she's been living, or he's been living. I can't really say until the second one, has been living their whole life, basically forced to be something else, and it's really weird, and and I love that last line where they're like, "She's a boy," and I could just imagine.
They did that because they showed her anatomy.
Yeah, they showed all of her, and
it's very quick.
Could you imagine everybody in the theater the first time they saw it, and they're all like, "Oh God, what the hell?" Just everybody.
I don't know. I don't know. I can't imagine it, but it really surprised me. Because she was so in the first movie. This actress was so quiet, and every time somebody would say something to her, good or bad, for a long time, like maybe the first third, like 2/3 of the movie, she would not react. She just look at him with her big brown eyes. She didn't say a word, and then she started talking to this boy. He showed interest in her, and he was real nice.
And then that got screwed up, and that was that.
Well, that was her last victim.
Yeah, and he deserved it too.
Margot thinks he deserved it, but I was thinking that he was befriending her, and Margot was saying that he's befriending her for a certain reason.
He wanted to have sex with her. That was literally all he was interested in. You could tell that if you really think about it.
Well, I guess in my mind, I just wanted there to be somebody who was supportive and nice of her, because
her cousin was very nice.
Yes, he was.
He was the hero of the movie. Him, and then the guy counselor and the good girl counselor. They were the heroes of the movie. Everyone else was awful.
Yeah, there were a lot of bullies. Bully people.
And she killed the little kids with the hatchet. And
the little kids who threw sand at her, they got killed.
And that guy abandoned them, their counselor.
Yeah, their counselor was a dipshit, and he abandoned them. I mean, these are little kids. I'm talking about little kids, like, in their grade school.
And they showed the hand walking towards them with the hatchet, like really freaky imagery, and it's all in the dark. And whoever made this movie really knows how to create an atmosphere that a horror movie needs to be successful. So, any other spoiler thoughts about the movie?
Well, that was that's how, the thing is, I think they mentioned that we had to go to a mental hospital, and that she finally had a sex change.
No, that was the second one.
Well, yeah, that was in the second one. But it was very quick. They just went blah.
And so it seems that they tortured her even more and forced her to become a girl, or I don't know. I don't think he wanted to be a girl.
No, it's not like a true transgender thing. He didn't want to do it.
And so that probably screwed her up even more.
Yeah.
Of the operation that they did, and what she said, electroshock therapy.
Well, you would have all these drugs too.
And probably
horrible for a kid.
Horrible religious type of therapy that would screw her up, and
well, I don't get where you come up with this religious stuff.
It had themes.
Was she wearing a cross?
Well, no, she talked like she's like kids need to be abstinent. They need to, she had that bra that was,
Oh, that was
and
like a Mormon thing.
she had that old person's
No offense.
nightgown, and she was talking just like a religious right wing person would about kids not smoking, not doing this, not doing that, being proper, and it gave off a lot of religious undertones, and
I don't know.
she was very talkative.
I thought maybe she'd been raised that way.
No, I don't think so, because they would have talked about it in the first one.
Yeah, that's true.
And so the second one, what was your favorite kill? If you can remember.
This kills me. Rob Marco wants me to talk about which kill I liked.
Yeah, which kill was the most creative or most entertaining, most fun to watch?
I don't know. I'll let you take care of that one. You're real good at that.
Well, okay, I think one of the funniest parts of the movie is there's this one girl named Mare, and she's in the middle of the boys' cabin, and she flashes everybody. She just yanks up her shirt, and then right behind her comes Angela, and that's like one of the best moments of the movie. And it's not because of her boobs, it's just because of how funny it is and how perfect timing it is. And then immediately she gets the drill, and I think she actually drilled into her boobs with the drill.
Oh God!
And they were being really funny with it. And then I love the next day TC. He's definitely my favorite character. He was talking about there's all these items missing. There's a length of rope.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
The battery to my car.
Yeah.
And instead she uses the battery acid, and so I have to say either the drill or the battery acid, because she uses his own car battery to kill him.
She drains the battery acid onto his face.
Yeah. And then that cheerleader girl, I'm glad that she got killed. It seems like they let the bully live longer so that they can be more tormented, and so that then when they get killed, it's a more earned death rather than just having a bully get killed at the beginning of the movie. Because by the time she gets killed, you're like, how could she not have been killed first? She's so much more horrible, and she even says that, the killer does. She's like, you should have been the first one to go. Yeah. And I agree, everyone agrees.
Well, she doesn't. The third movie, she doesn't ever get killed, right?
The bully?
No.
From the
Angela.
Second one?
No, Angela.
I'm talking about the bully in the second one.
God. Well, oh. Yeah, all the bullies get killed.
And so, any other things to mention with the second one? Did you like, she got really mad at the end, and the girl almost survives. She falls off a cliff, and then she wakes up and walks on the road, and
who comes driving up?
Angela does.
Yeah.
And she gets killed, obviously. Well, they don't show it, they just cut away after she screams.
If you assume the worst.
I don't know, would she let her... See, that's a very interesting question. Did she let her live? I don't think so, because in the third one, she feels horrible about killing the couple, and so she lets the couple in the third one, the only couple there, she lets them live. It's like a penance, basically, because she's so disturbed about it. I mean, she even has nightmares in the third one about the second one. And so, did you have a favorite kill in the third one?
Well, in the third one, I said that it was a diversity camp So when everybody gets to camp, there's a reporter and their crew there. And the reporter at the end of the filming, because Angela, as well as some of the others, they're kind of like city kids and they're like from the rough areas. Like I said, it's filled with
Stereotypical
stereotypes. It made me want
rough
to vomit.
areas.
And so this reporter comes up to Angela and says, "Oh, can you score me some cocaine?" And I'm like, "Oh, for heaven's sakes, how unprofessional is that?" And so she said, and of course Angela says, "Oh, sure." And she's thinking about doing something else. So she goes and she probably gets Comet Cleanser
And
or
rat poison and
or some
very
other kind of
gross.
stuff like that.
And then she's dead.
And then she gives it to the reporter. Well, she doesn't take it right away. She kind of drives off, so nobody can see her in the woods, and she snorts it, and of course she passes away after bleeding from her nose, etc. And first of all, here's one of the questions that comes.
Well, my presumption. Well, just finish your question.
Well, the question is, where's the rest of her team, and why weren't they a little concerned that she's like a reporter who looks like she's on TV all the time. So if she's missing, that would be noteworthy.
Okay, well, my presumption is that Angela hid her body or had it so that she ran off a cliff or something.
Yeah.
They didn't show it though, so I don't know.
I know, that's what I say.
They just cut away after. They don't even show her die, basically. They just show her, and then they cut away.
And she passes out, and you see her nose, it's all bloody. But I mean, this is another thing where you are left to write the story because you are not told what happens. You aren't even given a clue.
Which is a big mistake.
And
that happens.
Why do we have to write the story? Why do we have to make up what happened?
The audience should not. And this is a problem I have with other movies and TV shows. Is the audience is watching whatever they're watching, so that they can see what other people wrote. They're not watching it so that they can write their own story. That's what YouTube tutorial videos are for.
Well, I just thought that was weird. And I'm thinking, here we go. I mean, you watch TV, there's certain news anchormen too, and they're on TV every day. And if they went missing, that would be very significant. And so nobody knows what's happened to her. They don't have a policeman come to the camp. Well, did you see so and so leave? I mean, it goes on and on. That's what I'm saying. The third one, there's just one of many questions that you're left with.
Well, if they all had cell phones, it would be a completely different story.
Yeah, there were no cell phones.
Because
it was too early for that.
The guy who was a cop, who's the father of the son who got killed in the second one, he would have immediately been notified by his fellow officers that the news anchor got killed, and he would have been like, okay, gotta look for Angela. Let's forget about this camp thing.
And let's also reiterate that in the third one, they are not staying in the cabins. They are out, away from the cabins, camping out in the woods. So, and they're in groups. They're in 3 groups. There's the camp. The husband and wife each have a group.
Cousin Virgil. Then the fat lady and
then there's the cop guy.
The cop.
He has a group. So they're not camping together. I mean, you don't have any communication with them. They're all separated far away from each other. And so they don't know what's going on with the others. No cell phone, like we said. And I mean, that's just because of the time.
And so, who is your least favorite? Who is the worst camper? I mean, all of the campers were stereotypical.
Well, there was a Chinese girl
crap.
or a Vietnamese girl, or
you said you didn't like her, which she didn't have.
She was just bitchy.
Well,
but they're to me it's like
she was probably forced to go there.
Yeah.
She didn't want to be there, but of course, at least she's not doing whatever she does there. I don't know. They don't talk about any of their backgrounds
No,
or anything
they don't give them any kind of character except
for
maybe negative. It's a negative thing, like they are jerks. She's bitchy. Okay, so you have a bitchy girl. That's her character. Then you have a boy. He brought his gun.
I really
was
like
weird.
him. He was so good at being a stereotypical uh, gang gang member who's
I don't know if he was a gang member. He just brought his boom box and he liked to play music.
and he's just playing music constantly.
He didn't really want to participate. He was like Angela was in the very first movie. He didn't want to participate.
And that's also what bothered me too. He didn't want to participate. Then why did she act like it was such a big deal? In the first one, she didn't do anything besides sit around and stare. And so she should really not be doing be like she was, forcing people and everything. And I loved how I also loved how that girl got killed, the racist girl. I loved how she got pulled up the flagpole and then dropped and let fall down the concrete because she was using the N word and then she's saying these disgusting things about these different people just because they're Latino or
because of their ethnic background.
Yeah. And so you want to redo all of this?
No.
Okay, so who did you think was the worst person there besides that Virgil?
The husband.
Okay, Virgil.
Because he was having sex with an underage girl, which is a big fat illegal.
I don't know.
Against the law, bad thing. Even though she was like she didn't want to do anything, she wanted to do it, and she wasn't fighting it. And I hate to say that, it sounds terrible, but it's true. Okay, I'm sorry, it's true. She wanted to have sex with anybody.
She wasn't interested in doing anything else besides him.
She didn't want to have anything. And she didn't want to do anything. That was another one.
And there
was a whole group of kids who did not want to participate.
And they really should not have gotten Virgil because he was so good at being like the funny guy. Like you're really trying to make this pedophile likable, and you shouldn't be because he's standing there. He's got that dumb look on his face. He's like smiling like side to side, and he's shaking his Playboy belt buckle, and he's like, "You say, brats, if you did." And I don't know why they would get this likable, funny guy to be a pedophile.
Yeah, the reason why Mark was saying Virgil is because he was in Andy Griffith.
As Virgil. Andy Griffith.
I'm losing my voice. So I think you'll have to say the rest.
So he's the worst. And what was your favorite kill?
I think the flagpole thing.
Okay.
Because it was that was different. I thought she was going to string her up there and just leave her there to hang there. Not hang by the neck or the feet, but I don't know, what she have, like her clipped on the back of her shirt?
Clipped on her belt.
Oh, her belt. So, I mean, it's just the fact that she would be exposed to all the elements, and in fact, maybe she could have survived, but what happened was she strung her up the flagpole by her belt, not by her neck or her feet, and she let it drop.
And
so
of
the
course,
body dropped all the way from the top of the flagpole to the ground, the concrete area on the ground.
She failed the Angela test because they're walking through the woods, and she's like, "Do you smoke? Yes. Do you do drugs? Yes. Doesn't everybody? Are you a virgin? No way." So it was really, I don't know what they were thinking. I mean, could you imagine being in the writer room, the writer's room, like, okay, let's have this girl be a bitch, and let's have this guy be a sweet Latino guy who's, he seems like he's rough, but he's cool, and he cooks, and he's really cool. And then you have this Asian girl, and she's a bitch, and she's a motorcycle. Like, they just did not write the characters well, and they acted like, all the teenagers are horrible people, and even in the end, they had a twist where it turned out that the redhead girl, you thought she was innocent, but really
She wasn't very nice.
she was cheating on her boyfriend who lived in Ohio with the Latino guy.
It's really ironic.
And what was I gonna say? The redhead girl.
The red-haired girl, you said that she wasn't the good person you thought she was. But the Latino guy was.
Yeah, he was the only good guy in the whole
He's
camp.
actually the only good camper. She let him live, right?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yes. What I was gonna say is that she let that redhead girl live. And then that redhead girl goes out of her way to go and kill Angela. I mean, seriously, she let you live. I mean, she didn't care about anybody else in the camp. She probably didn't even really care about that guy, because she was okay with having a boyfriend at home and just using him. So I really have to, she's probably the worst person in the movie for me. I changed my mind. And
the red-haired girl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I liked how in the end, Angela wakes up and kills the paramedics, and it's like, okay, let's have another one. The fourth one, which they made a fourth one, and I refuse to acknowledge that it exists because it is probably one of the worst movies in history.
Well, I've never seen it at all, so I just watched these three that we just talked about, and that's it. So
Okay.
I can't say anything about it.
I'll tell you the plot of the third one, the fourth one. Okay, so this is what it is. Remember that guy in the first one, how the guys just keep playing pranks on him?
Yeah.
And how it's almost kind of making it look like, oh, maybe he's the killer? Okay, that's the third one. That's the fourth one.
Oh, really?
That's all it is. There's this fat guy, and he's really annoying. He's almost annoying like Franklin in Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah.
And he's really obnoxious. You want to redo all this?
No, hon, just go. I have to blow my nose.
And so then he gets pulled pranks on the whole movie, and at the same time, kids keep getting killed, and then at the end it's revealed that, oh, it's actually Angela from the first one. They got the girl back from the first one, and she's living in the woods, and she's been living in the woods, and her cousin is actually a janitor there, and it's really bad.
Okay, no, wait a minute.
So they were.
Then we didn't say this either. The actress who plays Angela in the first one is not the same as the one who's in the second and third.
And there are two reasons for that. It's number one, because she was going to college, and number two, it was because she did not fit the part of the smiley face killer.
So, but in the fourth one, it goes back to the original actress?
Yeah, because in the fourth one, they're trying to take it back to the original, which I don't know why they're doing that, because it's obvious that the original wasn't working, and yeah, they had her live in the woods, and she killed the fat kid, and I don't know what they were thinking.
Okay, well, I think we better wrap it up.
What were they thinking? It's called Return to Sleepaway Camp.
I don't know.
And really,
Maybe they're just trying to squeeze out a few more bucks.
It should have been called Copycat Camp, because they copied that element from the first one and didn't do anything new.
Well, we thought about doing a remake versus reboot, or neither, and this might be a movie that they Well, they would have to remake it a little bit or reboot it a little bit because it was took place in the 80s. But they could probably do another sequel. They'd have to change it and maybe I don't know what they would do exactly, but I
Well,
think
that
it
was
would be worth it if they really spent the time. I
they
mean,
wanted
no
to. They
stereotypes.
wrote a script in 2007. They had this
Huh,
website, and I remember I was so excited about it. Never happened
huh.
because they didn't have the money.
Yeah, that's the
And
problem. That's money.
it was supposed to be this is what happens. So the girl who's in the second and third one,
Uh huh.
she gets taken to prison and put to death by lethal injection. And so then after that, it's her ghost that comes back and is
Yeah,
killing
but
kids
that's kind of like
at camp.
that's like that other movie.
Friday the 13th.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a ghost in that, right?
No.
No.
But it's an undead person, so it's I don't know. They need to I don't know what they would do. I remake it, I guess, to
I
fix
don't know.
the thing where you have what actors do you use, what actors, what continuity. You know, because they have all those errors in the third one and the second one, obviously. So I would say remake it.
They probably the only thing I think they could do was, of course, I don't know how they would that how she could do that, but everybody knows who she is. But she would be the head of the camp, or she could be the sponsor, where nobody would know who it was. She could be the mysterious sponsor. And then I mean, and it would be the same. It would be the same camp from the very beginning, and of course it's been redone, new signs and places to live. And
Well, I had. Well, what do you? What's the thing about that? What's the catch? Is there
well,
anything?
she is.
Is she's just the mysterious figure in the background?
Yeah, she's the um, benefactor to the camp,
Oh.
and they wouldn't know she's changed her name and.
I was thinking that I had two kind of thoughts. Number one, since she's so old, that you could have like aren't there like camps for adults or like retreats where
Yeah, there are.
people from companies they go out in the wilderness? They could do that. That would be really cool. It could be adults. It could be the exact opposite. You could have parents, these horrible parents there talking about their kids and how much they hate them or just acting like they're so happy to be away from their kids.
Yeah.
And you would love to see Angela kill all of them, and it would be really cool and interesting. Or I'd like to see Angela versus Jason, and only for this reason. Jason doesn't have a reason for killing people. He kills everybody that's around. So what if Angela has to protect a kid that she actually likes against Jason? Like a good girl like that Molly from the second one.
Uh-huh.
She'd have to protect her because she wouldn't want her to die. But Jason wouldn't. He'd be going after them. So
I don't know.
we don't know.
We're
Really.
just bouncing around a few ideas. It just seems like that it was a good horror series up to a point.
It has potential.
It was a good idea. There's more potential to do things with it, and it would be. I think because people love horror movies, and they like to see new, different types of. Remember she doesn't have a mask, and and like another movie that we're going to talk about, the Children of the Corn. She's not some kind of a weird being in the cornfield. I mean, she's a real flesh and blood person that you can see her face, and to me and for Marco too. I mean, we think there's potential to do something more with it. But anyway, maybe we should stop now. And I'm sorry that I coughed and blew my nose, but I'm really sick.
Yeah.
So. I tried to limit it. My throat was itching and I was about to die.
These whole videos are over an hour now, so we better end it.
Okay. Bye bye.
Goodbye.